Alrighty, I want to do this quick comparison video of the Nextorch P84 versus the Nextorch TA30C Max. I think the P84 is excellent value for what it is. It combines some tactical features along with the functionality of an everyday flashlight. The TA30C is more of a dedicated tactical flashlight, has some special features on here and just some things I haven't seen on other tactical flashlights. So if you're not sure whether you need a tactical flashlight, or maybe you're just interested knowing the difference between a tactical and a non-tactical flashlight, I will go through that in this video today. Before we get started, do me a favor and click that like button because it helps me to get my videos out to more people. And if you want to support me in continuing to make more reviews, make sure you subscribe. Both of them come with 21700 cells, so they're Nextorch branded cells, button top cells as well. They have like a little bit of extra length added on. They also both have these lanyards. I didn't attach it to that one. You get a charging cable also for both flashlights. The difference is that you need to actually take the battery out to charge it separately. On the TA30C, you have a actual USB port on the battery itself that you plug the cable in and it charges it. With this one here, with the P84, you just have to unscrew the head and surprise, surprise, little USB charging port there. So very efficient, and I just like that, how it's concealed under there as well. In terms of build quality, fantastic on both of them. Nextorch are just outstanding in terms of the anodization. It's probably the best anodization that I've seen on a flashlight. Nice chalky anodization. It's grippy, very durable as well. And in terms of, the cutouts, you get that same quality anodization on the P84, but the cutouts are just, perfect. You don't have any issues or any sort of nicks or things in the machining on both these flashlights. And it's across the board with a lot of Nextorch flashlights. I just don't see any design, any machining flaws when I receive the light. So really well done for Nextorch. They've got some great quality control procedures on board. Now, both of these flashlights, you can't disassemble them. So the only thing you can do is take the tail cup off, take the battery out. That's pretty much it. You're not able to get into the head. Even if you unscrew the head here, it finishes at a certain point. You can't unscrew any further. Nextorch offer 5-year warranties on all of their flashlights, so it's understandable that they don't want you to get in there, start playing around with things and muck it up. So that's something to keep in mind. So yeah, I talked a bit about the batteries already and also the charging. In terms of the size of the flashlight, as you can see, the P84 is a little bit larger. It's more so longer than larger in the head. So the reason why is because there are some additional features here. There's some additional auxiliary LEDs, which I'll demonstrate later. But even just having a look at the bezel, they're quite similar sized. Okay, it's just that the P84 is a bit longer. If they didn't put in those auxiliary lights, it'd probably be just as short as the TA30, but both of them are fairly pocketable. You can definitely carry them, lug them around your pocket. This one's a little bit more awkward because the head just sticks out suddenly and it is a little bit longer, so it's on the cusp of a light that I would carry around in my pocket. The TA30 Max is a little more suited. Again, these are just on the cusp of what I would carry around in your pocket. They actually are designed to be carried in some kind of holster or in like a backpack or something like that. Okay, so let's take a look at the LEDs. Now on the left, you have the P84 and it's got the XHP 50.2. So it's a domed LED, quite a large dye surface, as you can see, more of a floody beam, whereas on the right here with the TA30C Max, they're using a special LED, the new XHP 50.2 high. It's a de-domed LED for extra throw, and I think it works really well in this flashlight. It kind of looks similar to this one, but almost with the boost of extra throw. Both have these AR anti-reflective glass lenses on the front as well. You've got these tactical bezels. Difference between the bezels, as you might be able to see, is that this one's made of titanium and this one's made of stainless steel. It's a little bit more shiny. This one's got more of a tactical sort of covert feel about it. You've also got these glass breaking beads, so you can break windows and things like that if you get trapped in a car or need to perhaps use that function. Both use an orange peel reflector for a more smooth and practical beam. I find with the TA30C, it helps to blend together the hotspot a little more with the flood, so it appears to be just a bit more pleasing to the eye. So let's go through the UIs, and let's start with the P84 first. So you've got this mode here. You basically press, there's a couple buttons. Press the large button halfway to access turbo. If you press it all the way down, then you get onto high mode, and then you can just flip between the 3 different modes. So it kind of starts on high, low, and then, medium, low, and then high, medium, low, high. So there's only 3 modes really, but you can access the highest mode just by pressing on that momentary switch. If you press this top little button here, you access strobe. So 1-step strobe. Press and hold that button, the top button down, then you get a few of these auxiliary modes. And you would have noticed as well, as I switched on the light, it has these little battery indication lights. So they all light up, so it's a full battery. Okay, so this is just to draw some attention. You can use that, and it's actually really quite bright. Nextorch have added some kind of filter there so that it just muffles, just diffuses that light a bit better. So press the button again and you can get this warning light. So, quite useful if your car breaks down, or maybe you just want to signal danger, a dangerous area to people, or maybe you are, the other light before the flashing light, you want to put it up somewhere and just signal if you're lost in an area. I think that's a good little function to have, flashy blue as well. And you have 2 other modes where it just holds the light, so red. So this is good if you maybe want to have a little bit of light to use at night. You don't want to ruin your night vision. That's a good little function to use there. Again, you've got blue, and there you go, back to that flashy sort of light here. Nextorch market this as a duty flashlight, and it's actually used by law enforcement agencies around the world. So I think that's that first function there with the flashy red and blue lights looks like it's for that purpose as well. But it's also good if you need to attract attention and it's an emergency. So it's definitely going to get you a bit of attention there. Apart from that, that's pretty much the UI. You can activate both at the same time. So you can have, like, say, that mode on. This is just a bit of light coming out the front on low, and I can press and hold that button here, and then you can activate these lights as well at the front, the auxiliary lights. So good that you can have both on if you're using the light and you want to actually attract attention at the same time. You have that ability to do so. Let's have a look at the Nextorch TA30C. This is a much simpler UI, and basically how it works, you've got this button, this tactical switch on the back, 2-stage switch. Press it halfway, and it sort of hits a point where you can't press anymore. You need to apply more pressure. Okay, but just this little tap is enough to switch it on. And what you can do here, basically, if you want to access the strobe mode, press it down all the way, and then you get strobe. Okay, so there's no kind of muddling around with double click, double this, double that. It sort of just goes onto that, especially if you're in a bit of a panic mode and you need to use that strobe function quickly. I think the first reaction people do, just pick it up and just mash the buttons. So that's a really good intuitive function, very easy to use, don't need to look at any instruction manuals. It's on tactical mode at the moment, and so basically it's on standby for when I want to activate that high mode. Now you can just switch this tactical switch to the first mode, second mode, third mode in terms of brightness, and then you've got strobe once again. Okay, say you're in low mode as well, you can also activate the switch, the tactile switch on the back, to access high mode and also the strobe mode. So any of the modes, you can access high and strobe. But that's pretty much it. There's nothing else to learn with the UI. Very simple, very efficient. This is a flashlight that is used by military and law enforcement agencies around the world. So when you're looking at a duty flashlight, you want something that's very easy to use, something that's more intuitive. So that's why the design is quite simple. I mean, you can't go wrong there. This battery indicator as well is something I should probably mention. You flick the switch on and off, and it just tells you what voltage the battery is. It has a few different light flashy modes and another color like red when it starts going down as well. At the moment, it's on 75% battery. Okay, same thing goes if you take off the cap, chuck in a new battery, and tighten up that tail cap. The tail cap will light up telling you the voltage of the battery. Really cool feature, just having the ability to test the capacity of the battery, how much juice is left in there. On this one here, you have that battery functionality here as well, which is pretty good. Both these flashlights would go really well in a holster. You're probably going to need one for the P84. Just put it in your pocket because there is no clip. But this one here, you got a clip, so you can put it in your pocket, can clip it onto your pocket. again, these are, like I said, on the cusp of being pocketable, but doable for sure. The output for both is 3000 lumens and more of a floody beam. This one has, more of a throwy sort of beam, and get a couple hours plus runtime on the highest mode. Of course, if you switch it down to the lower modes, you're going to get close to a day's usage on it. So there is a bit of a price difference between both the lights. This P84 here costs $89.95 on the Nextorch website. The TA30C Max is $119. Okay, so you do get a few more additional features and over engineered aspects of this flashlight as well. You get the battery tube, which is reinforced. You have this next generation LED. I think that's a big thing. It just outthrows this flashlight here, the P84, significantly. You've also got this upgraded titanium bezel, and I think that's a really great addition. It's not as reflective as stainless steel, keeps it more covert. You've got this tactical ring, this painted tactical ring as well from Nextorch, and that one-step strobe on the tail switch. I mean, this is just has all the bells and whistles of a tactical flashlight, whereas this one here, if you're looking for something to put in the car, maybe also as a duty flashlight, if you're working in law enforcement, I think this is a really good option. Keep it in a separate holster. I haven't seen a flashlight. I haven't seen many flashlights that have, I think I've only got one other flashlight with the tactical or the momentary mode available through the side switch. It's very uncommon, and I think that's a great feature. You can use that. Also, one-step strobe, fantastic, so close to each other, intuitive. You've got pretty much everything you need, and then some of these auxiliary modes as well. So this almost could function, in my books, as a survival flashlight. It's got just everything that you need in there, and you're saving yourself a bit of money as well if you don't need the extra tactical features. So I hope this video was helpful. If you have any further questions, let me know in the comments. I'll put the link for both these lights below in the description if you want to check them out and purchase from Nextorch. And again, if you want to see me make more videos, make sure you subscribe to my channel. If you like the video, do me a favor and click the like button, because it helps my videos also get out to more people. Thanks for watching. Comparison test between the Nextorch P84 versus the Nextorch TA30C Max, and I've got the P84 here on the left, and I'll just put it onto momentary turbo. Lots of really large floody beam, nice looking beams. One of my favorite floody beams, actually, come to think of it. It's just so smooth. Not much of a bezel as well, sort of bezel imprints on the edges of the beam. Now get the TA30C and you get quite a decent amount of throw. A few people sort of running around the park, you can hear them. Look at that P84. Nice beam, very nice beam, but you just can't keep up with the throw of that TA30C Max. The XHP 50.3 gives it that extra oomph. You can see all the way to the back of those trees. Probably not much underneath the trees, the back trees, but does reach there. Get a bit of that light scattering occurring at the back, and it kind of just looks like a bit misty, but for everything else, quite amazing. And I like that the P84 has a tactical, well, not a tactical, but momentary mode on it. You don't see that very often with side switch flashlights. So you can see the flood is so much more pronounced in the P84, TA30C. It's kind of like just a big floody hotspot in the center. And even the flood around the edges seems to go further as well. So P84, TA30C. I do find the TA30C to be a lot easier to activate on the
tactical mode, that button's just kind of presses halfway and hits a point, whereas the other one you kind of just got to hold it so that you don't press it fully down. But look, I'm just glad the thing has some kind of momentary mode on it.